what's going on, y'all? Welcome in to a brand new episode of Snaps, your favorite college football podcast. I'm TBob Bear. He is Aaron Murray, and we are live here on youtube.com/@snapcfb_. You just Google SnapCFB, you'll find it. Aaron, couple of notes here. I think I'm looking, and I don't think you linked my Twitter.
Shit.
Oh, wait, I can do that. Okay, never mind. I can do that. Cool. Just got it.
There you go.
Wow, look at that.
Wow.
Sorry. I'm tweeting out the links right now, guys. Hope everybody's having a great day. Aaron, how are you doing here on this?
I'm doing great. Happy Thursday, everyone. T-minus exactly 1 month to the marathon, so it's here.
Oh, I mean, we're like exactly a month away now that
Exactly
it's the 1st of May.
June 1st. June 1st is go time. Unfortunately, I don't think we got the European trip, so we're going to run a marathon now.
Man, kind of a double whammy there, huh?
Yeah.
You see on the European trip, the money they're in, and your reward is now you have to finish through with this marathon. I'm just kidding. That's going to be, look, the bottom line is you're about to accomplish something that very few human beings do, and that no one will ever be able to take away from you.
Yeah.
We're
running 22 miles next week at one point. So essentially we're pretty much running a marathon.
Pretty much doing it. I mean, if you can run 22, you can run 26, you know?
Yeah. I mean, we ran 20 last week, and I was like,
I was going to say, to be honest, you ran 20, 19. I know you've done those as well. Like you could definitely,
we're good.
Definitely do that. What did you do for the thumbnail today? Locke saying another fantastic thumbnail. What was it?
It was just a picture of Belichick and his girl.
Hell yeah. I know you need to send me those actually. You need to email them to me so I can like use them to post. It doesn't fucking matter, whatever. Tyrese says, Titty Boy T-Bob shirt goes dummy hard. I got to shout out. So it's kind of funny. It's messing up with the green screen a little bit. You kind of see through me a little bit. Look, but I gotta, this is like one of my favorite shirts I've ever owned. And it's actually made by my sister. She has a clothing company, Show Me Your Moo. They only make women's clothing. But for we were doing like a family photo shoot on vacation. And so she made these custom fruit button-ups, and it's like my favorite shirt I've ever had.
Can she send me some stuff?
She doesn't make men's clothing.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
Okay.
No. Yeah, actually, they do make bathing suits. That's where my slutty suits come from.
I would like some slutty bathing suits right now.
I know, but I need a new one first. I think I left mine in California.
I will say the marathon running has very much defined my calves and legs. So we're like I've always had good thighs, but I have extra good thighs and calves right now where I'm feeling the extra slutty bathing suit shorts when the pool opens up next week.
Next time you see, that's funny. It's so warm down here. Our pool's been open for a few weeks now. The local athletic club pool. Shout out Soak. Love you, Soak. Anyway, guys, look, if you're watching the show, hit the like button, share it with your friends, and help support the show. We'll talk about Snaps clothing here in a bit. That's another great way that you can help support the show. Buy a gift for yourself, for a friend, for a family, whoever. It's a great piece of clothing. It Snaps, and use code SNAPCFB at checkout. More on that in a little bit. So we got a lot to get to today. If I was UNC, I'd be terrified of what's going down with Bill Belichick right now. I want to celebrate Cam Ward as I've done this now. I did it on Rome yesterday, I did it on my show this morning, but it's worth doing again because, Aaron, we all kind of fell into that trap of highlighting someone's failure instead of someone's success. And it's something that happens all too often in this business. And I understand the dynamics of play. I understand why. We all talked about Shadur. But Cam Ward's story is pretty fucking incredible.
Yeah.
Go from a 0-star recruit to first overall pick. So we'll break that down. We'll talk about Jackson Olrich bringing deep shame upon his family for his prank call stunt. The sad Jordan Travis story as he is retiring from football. And here's a headline from The Athletic on the website today. Is Texas spending $40 million on its 2025 roster? So we will explore that all. But first, Aaron, I need you to fill while I go close my office door.
$40 million. Listen, Ohio State Most draft picks, national championship, money well spent. And as we know, Texas has almost unlimited money. So,
yes. Once again, you remind me, Aaron, of one of my favorite quotes. When you've heard on this show, if you listen enough, and that is from our friend Velleius Paterculus, an old Roman. And he talks about how it's about precedent, right? No man considers a course base for himself, which has proven profitable to others. What did Ohio State do? They outspin everyone last year. Like you said, who had the most picks? 14 draft picks, 7 in the top 45. Ohio State. Who won the Natty? Ohio State. So the lessons are clear, right? Who are the top 4 drafted teams? It was Ohio State, Texas, Georgia, Oregon.
But did Texas, did they get as many splash players in the portal? Like Ohio State got some splash players in the portal last year. They got the best running back. They got the best defensive player. I'll have to look at Texas again, but
maybe Texas was more about roster retention. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
Crazy though, man. I mean, the money's wild. All right, we'll get into that though a bit later on. Let's go ahead and talk a little Bill Belichick. And Aaron, I want to start with you because right now you're doing XFL, you're doing modeling, we do this, but you don't have like a daily show going on right now where you get to talk about this stuff, right?
No.
I have talked about this shit ad nauseum at this point. And so I feel like I'm just repeating myself a million times over. So what are give me everything that you feel that you know about, unless you want me to things here. Give me everything you know about Jordan Hudson or just this whole situation. What do you think? What did you think about the interview? Everything.
And we talked about the interview a little bit the other day on the Tuesday show. I would go more big picture here of Belichick and Jordan in the sense of my impressions of Bill Belichick are button up, no bullshit, focus only on football. That's my life. That's what I eat, breathe, and sleep. And that's all I do. And now this Jordan situation, it seems like as he's transitioning from the NFL to college, there isn't that same type of focus that won him all those Super Bowls. And listen, you know what? Good for him for enjoying life. There's nothing wrong with kind of taking a step back, enjoying the life a little bit. But if I'm UNC, what I hired was the Bill Belichick that had an incredible dynasty with the New England Patriots, that won all those Super Bowls, that was extremely hard-nosed, focused, team-oriented. And then you see him in the interview wearing a Navy Navy gear, which we talked about. You see him, at the beach doing all these poses and weird shit with Jordan. And I just kind of get the feeling, I was like, where is that kind of killer Bill Belichick that I remember from the Patriots? And I don't feel that. Like I see like a little teddy bear all of a sudden. And
I mean,
it's not the same. It's not what UNC paid for.
Okay, so now I'm remembering a little bit of what we talked about Tuesday. And look at this fucking picture. Yeah. This has got to be the craziest.
The worst one. What about the one where she's in the air and he's holding her up?
I mean, that's whatever acro yoga. I don't know, for some reason. And if you're listening online, we're looking at the picture of her dressed as a mermaid and Belichick a fisherman. Something about this is just even wilder to me.
Yeah.
I don't know. But again, all this does is reinforce your point that I'd be a bit terrified if I was UNC here, because if there is one thing that has been proven to be able to distract even the most implacable of men through the years, it is a beautiful woman.
Yes.
And
a younger, beautiful woman.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of people at LSU look at that basically getting lost in the sauce was what took down Ed O. A bit, right? Now, I think the pandemic played a much bigger role in that than people give credit for, but I'd be worried if I was UNC. Here's what else. So I do want to apologize for this on Tuesday's show, because I had an epiphany, maybe actually it was on Tuesday's Rome show, where I realized, oh, wait, she's not interrupting or disrupting this interview, and she's not wanting to talk about how they met because it's like a prostitution thing, which is what everybody was alluding to, right? She's doing it because she thinks of himself as like his PR person, and she wants to control it. And she wants to be like, no, we're only talking about the book, right? Well, since that moment, that is exactly what Hudson and Belichick are claiming, right? Is that before the interview, and it's crazy that they had to release an official statement in which the sentence is uttered. Some of the clips make it appear as though we were, and this is Belichick's statement, we were avoiding the question of how we met, but we have been open about the fact Jordan and I met on a flight to Palm Beach in 2021. So here's the thing. The Belichick camp is claiming that they were told by CBS, and we're very clear that this interview was only going to be about the book and the book itself, not Bill's personal life. CBS has since come out and said, no, that was never agreed to. It was always going to be a wide-ranging interview. For what it's worth, I think I probably believe CBS a bit more because, again, why in the world would you agree to talk to Bill Belichick if he's not going to talk about the single most interesting thing about his life right now, which is his 24-year-old girlfriend?
Yes.
CBS is not having him on solely to talk about The Art of Winning. The Art of Winning, his book, is the vehicle to get him on to talk about his girlfriend. This is like wearing a fucking purple top hat and then being like, can't ask me about the hat. Like what? Like you show up for a job interview. You're in a fucking
I want to know.
You're in a steampunk glasses, purple top hat. You're like, sorry, can't ask about it, bro.
I want to know what is because it says in there, centered on the book, after this occurred several times, Jordan, with whom I share both a personal and professional relationship. What is the professional? Is she his PR person now? Like, is she in charge?
So her marketing? Email letterhead says COO of Belichick Productions, which I thought was a real company because remember Matt Patricia was working for was working for Belichick Productions. But On3 just released an article where they're saying they looked into it and they can't find an actual like certified business attached to it. But no, look, it is assumed so her email says that, and then it is assumed that she is working in a bit of a managerial role for Belichick. And she's okay. So I want to say this. Because I've seen Julian Edelman and other people talking about how, well, all she did was what any publicist does in one of these interviews when their client is asked a question that they deem to be one that they should not answer. And that may be true. Okay. So let's say that she was operating purely as a PR person here, which I think she was trying to do.
Oh, she definitely was.
But it's in here where her inexperience shines. And I don't mean that as I would do better. I'm not a PR person, right? I can only judge the fallout, right? But I think I can speak for everyone when I say we look back on work that we did in our early 20s and we think like man, that's, but you have to grow. You have to do these things, right? The best lessons in your professional life and personal life a lot of times are learned by making mistakes the hardest ways. And so even if she was trying to function as a PR person, which she was, she just had some awful situational awareness. She did not realize that she would create a worse story, a more distracting story, a bigger fiasco than the one she was trying to avoid. It's like an episode of That's So Raven. Remember, Raven would get a glimpse into the future. Then she would do whatever she could to try to stop that future, only to find out that her actions she ended up taking ended up creating the very future she was trying to avoid. And so it's something that Jordan will get better about. She's very ambitious, very successful, honestly. And
is she successful?
Be better. Well, have you read about the real estate empire?
Oh, there's a real estate empire.
Empire, I would say portfolio. Oh shit, where'd I put it? I had all the I thought I had copied them.
I did not hear about
in my snaps notes. Okay, wait, let me look another document real quick and see if I put it on there. Basically, after she met Bill Belichick, she purchased a few different real estate holdings and are currently renting them out. I think it's valued at like $9 million
with his
total. I mean, I don't know that the timing of it.
What does she have on him that he's just going to give her $9 million to go invest his money in real estate?
Where did I put these notes?
Wow, that must be good.
I mean, yeah, you say, what does she have on him? I mean, what do you mean? What do you mean, dude? Also, Belichick was making $20 million.
Who do you just give a just girl to? It's funny. Actually, this was
okay. Here it is. Sorry. Oh wait, go ahead. You go ahead. No, you go ahead.
Oh no. This was my rookie year, first off season, and I was hanging with this chick. Wasn't dating. Same thing as a cheerleader. Not being seen in public. Just come to the house, have a good time. She tried to convince me to give me my money to her because she was trying to tell like how good of an investor she was, and she was gonna make me all this money. I'm like, bitch, you're like 22 years old. I ain't giving you shit. You come hang out at the crib, but I ain't giving you money. Like, no. Like,
okay, so that is very funny. Who was this? You said was doing this 22-year-old girl. Who was it exactly?
I'm not giving you a name. It's just some chick.
Oh, sorry, not a name. Okay, you're right. Sorry. No, what I mean is because she sounds like probably the same personality as Jordan Hudson.
Yeah.
Because Jordan Hudson is a very driven young woman. She was a pageant girl, 2024 Miss Maine runner-up. She says she's the founder and CEO of Trouble Club Enterprises. I don't know exactly what that is, but 24 years old, already attaching, founder, CEO, COO titles on your name. And again, one of the first things she did. Now, remember how she met Bill on the plane. They were talking about a book. I think it was called Deductive Logic or something. Pretty interesting book for a 21-year-old to be reading at the time in college. And Bill signed it like, thank you for teaching me about logic, Bill Belichick, blah, 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 whatever. But I guess my point is I feel like this is a very ambitious and driven woman. And I hate talking about some of this stuff because it makes it seem like everything I'm saying is a pejorative and I'm painting her as this archetypical like witch, trying to get her wiles in. They could really love each other. And I don't think it's a negative to be ambitious and driven.
No.
I'm just saying she's not like me where I was just a slapdick floating around smoking weed, playing 21 in the driveway and lying about going on sales calls. Okay. She has drive and she wants to be successful. And so she has the it factor, I guess is what I'm saying, obviously.
Yeah.
So she gets Bill with her intelligence, her youth, her looks.
Just her intelligence.
It's been a blender. And I said her looks and her youth as well.
Yeah.
And she's made herself into a landlord with a $9 million real estate portfolio.
For how intelligent Bill is, I'm sure with the people that he's surrounded himself with, I'm sure he is a financial advisor. For him to go to his advisor and say, hey, I need $9 million to get to this 24-year-old who I'm now dating so that she can invest in real estate.
Well, I mean, we don't know that they're bad investments, right? I mean, maybe
it's still, it just, something just feels very off about the entire thing. And maybe it is just love and it's just complete head over heels and whatever. But I don't, from the
but that's the thing. If we wanted to approach it from a very shallow standpoint, it doesn't have to be love. Qui bono, who benefits? Because we can clearly see how both parties are benefiting.
Oh, 100%.
Bill has a new lease on life. He's sleeping with a beautiful young woman. But not just that. There's nothing as invigorating. There's an old line. I can't remember. It doesn't matter. But there's something, especially the older I get, there's something almost like ethereal or magical about the idea of like a young, beautiful woman or whatever. Now it's not for me, right? But it is for many. And for Bill, I think it's kind of changed his life a bit. Maybe not for the better for you if you're UNC. And then for her, look, obviously she's getting things out of it too. She's got a huge job. She's got the portfolio going on. She's
living on Bill's dime.
Again,
good for her.
She's creating her own though. Like she is making sure that I guess what I'm saying is long term, I don't think they're going to be together forever, anything like that. I think long term though, Jordan Hudson's going to be uber successful. I think she is going to be a very wealthy person by the time her life is done because of the ambition, because of the drive, and because of the give a fuck. Like, again, she ain't out here smoking weed fucking around. No. Did she fuck up the CBS interview? Yes. But all I see there is a young professional's mistake. I don't see anything that speaks to a lack of competence. If anything, I think she seems incredibly competent.
I remember seeing the video the other day of her interacting with Belichick, even like on the field. She definitely walks with a certain swagger. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah,
she does. She doesn't give a fuck. Which I think in this situation, you have to have that mentality of like, I don't really care. Like Belichick said, like I've never concerned myself with what other people say about me. I think they both have that to him. That's why he has been so successful. Even going back to what we talk about, what it takes to win a championship, there has to be a factor of, I don't care if the players in this locker room hate me or think that it's miserable to be a Patriot, that they don't want to be here. They don't like my tactics. They don't like the fact that I have them here all day. Whatever the narrative is, I don't give a damn, because guess what? What I do and what I believe in wins championships. So I think those who are great kind of have to have that mentality a little bit. And it's hard to think of the two people that each have that mentality could work well together, though. It's a lot of type A together in one room.
It is a lot of type A, but
a lot of type A in one room.
Real recognized real a little bit. I agree. Like this is I mean, but again, their first meeting was her chatting him up about the book Deductive Logic. And obviously Bill flirting and being like, I'm going to give these, 21-year-old opinions credence. But I mean, I don't know. Again, this is like in Men in Black, when Will Smith shoots the little girl, he's like, look how big that book is. Something not right about that. And it seems like a bullshit excuse at the time, but they're like, oh, wait, this guy fucking gets it. Yeah. I don't know many 21-year-old cheerleaders reading Deductive Logic on the plane. I think this is. Is
there any articles about like Belichick saying what he's currently reading at the time?
No, right now.
No. I'm saying at the time of when they met, where she like maybe knew that she was reading.
Like he
previously
Deductive Logic,
read that book, and she started reading that book. Accidentally bumped into him. Was like, oh, I'm also reading this book too.
So now you are getting into the archetypical female wiles. She entrapped him.
Yes.
With her, I mean, with her research and whatnot.
Which shows even more her ambition and her work ethic. Good for her.
I mean, I guess again, I don't. Is Bill getting saltburn? Says Daniel Basham. Yeah. No. Again, I don't. I think they actually did meet on the plane. I have no problem believing that story. I think it all makes a lot of sense. I guess the one element that I think that I fucked up on Tuesday talking about was obviously the prostitution. That was just very shallow thinking by me. You think a little bit further and it all starts to come together. And again, this is, I believe, like I said, I think this girl's the it factor, ambition, drive. And then the CBS interview was a misstep. But and for this show, the overall takeaway would be, I'd be pissed if I was a UNC fan. Like, you better fucking win games because we put a lot of money in you and you seem distracted and you're causing a lot of drama.
A lot of drama. And go back to you originally said, like, I don't think CBS would go into an interview if Bill Belichick said these topics are off limit, that they would ruin their reputation and start asking those questions.
Yeah, or like, I mean, again, I just can't fathom that CBS would say we agreed not to talk about the.
Or that too, but I'm just saying, like, if Bill Belichick said, like, I mean, trust me, I've done plenty of interviews and so have you, and a lot of times I go into like, hey, this is what I'm going to ask you. Are you comfortable? And they say yes here, no here, whatever it may be. And as a professional, you stay away from that. CBS, the guy doing the interview, was a professional. He is not going to go into something in which Bill Belichick said, hey, my personal life is off limits. Do not ask me that question.
Yeah, I'd be like, okay, well, this interview's done. I'm not on here to just help you sell books. Like, we'll talk about the book to sell you some copies, but I want to know about you dating somebody who's a third your age. Like, that's all I care about. Mysterious Bathwater says, watching TBob backpedal from the escort takes heartbreaking. Double down, pussy. Again, you think I'm back. If you think I'm backing down because I feel bad in some way, I mean, I guess I do feel a little bad, but that's not it at all. I think it's just a dumb take. Like that. That's I think I like looking at a topic and boring into it and thinking critically about it. And it's why a lot of times my takes will change from morning to night. Like, even when I initially heard the Shadur Sanders line after the first round, where he's like, we all know this shouldn't have happened to me. And I'm like, wow, at first I was like, oh, what a self-serving line, blah. But then I'm like, well, wait a second. Of course he believes that, because him and everybody at his camp believed him to be a top 10 pick. So, like, of course he's going to feel like this should not have happened. So, yeah, I mean, no, it's just that I thought about it more. And I don't ever want to feel like to the audience I'm giving like a dumb, shallow, or wrong take. And I think that was the least interesting read on that situation, was the escort read.
Well, I would say it's the first thing that came to everyone's mind, though. It was easy.
Yes.
It was easy.
Which is where it was such a misstep from her, because you created that story out of thin air that did not need to exist. Yes. Anyway. New show name, TBob Shifty Takes. Look, man, I am not someone who has ever said that I'm just going to double down and stay somewhere if I think I'm wrong.
If they had said it multiple times, which according to this release, they stated that, hey, we've said multiple times how we met. Why was that kind of the breaking point of the interview then? If it was already
so I don't think it was the breaking point. I think that they talk about her interrupting multiple times. And I think it was probably anytime anything strayed a little bit off the book, she was jumping in, right? And so, but when you get that clip and you see, you're like, oh,
we're running with this.
Thank you, Jordan. This is just what we needed to make this deeply uninteresting interview interesting. Up until this point, this interview was dog shit. And while it may have been painful to do, you have now given us some legs to this thing finally.
Oh, I would love to know the total views from that entire interview. Was probably golden. I mean, we're still talking about it 4 days later.
I know. And it keeps extending.
Yeah.
They release statements, CBS releases statements. It's crazy. It's crazy. Kathy says the bigger question is, why didn't you want him to talk about the meeting unless it's fake? Again, it's because I think she was taking her PR role so seriously. She was like, I have to keep this on task with the book, not realizing the unintended consequences of being so married to that idea. We are married to our friends at Snaps Clothing, guys. Shout out to Snaps Clothing. I got to give a big shout out to our guy, Ed, dude. Ed loves the show, founder of the company. And they love the show for what it is. All of the madness, all of the uncouth jokes, all of the risque everything. They love it. They're here for it. And so we want to support those who support us. And so you can help us out by going and buying some snaps, dude. And they're great shirts, man. Bringing the pearl snaps to the modern age. Beautiful materials for all different sorts of weather. Aaron, I know you've been doing the traveler collection.
Yeah, I've probably worn my shirts 3 or 4 times in the past 2 weeks. Anytime I go out, I wear them.
Me too. I've been liking this look of like wearing an unbuttoned shirt with like a t-shirt underneath, which I haven't done in a while. It feels really good to bring back. So if you go there, use the code SNAPSCFB. It's going to give you some savings at checkout. And remember, though, since this is a college football show, here is the Tailgater collection. And we got a lot of licenses, a lot of great licenses. Oh, what did Texas? I need to text it. But look, Texas A&M, TCU, Oklahoma, SMU, LSU, Texas Tech, Ole Miss, Oklahoma State, and more schools on the way all the time. So you want to get a gift for somebody, gift for yourself. Snapsclothing.com, snapsclothing.com, promo code SNAPSCFB. Hold on. Let me see. I'm trying to find.
Bill. How long does he think it lasts in college?
What? Oh,
I said, how long do you think it lasts?
I don't know. It's a good question.
Interesting.
I mean, it's going to be more than 1 year. I don't think this like blows up.
No. But
3 years.
It's not an easy place to win.
3 years. I'm going 3 years. And then Bill probably wants out. They probably want out. Everybody's like, all right, whatever.
We tried. We're done.
Yeah, we tried. Miami, y'all talked about Shannon Sharp yet? Says Spank Mapleton. That's a very funny name. Man, Shannon. I don't want to talk about Shannon right now. But another example of getting lost in the sauce a bit there. All right, here's what I want to do.
Just get married, have kids, and just fucking live a boring life.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly. Exactly.
It's just
a lot of the lessons in the Bible may mean that you have to avoid a lot of temptation.
Mm-hmm.
But if you just lived your life by the 10 Commandments, you're going to have a good time.
Yeah.
Like you're going to have a drama-free, smooth, don't covet what your neighbor has. Don't sleep around with your wife. Don't kill anybody. Like these are very basic principles. Now, I get it. You're tempted. Your little head wants to run around and do shit. And you got to say, no, not today, little man. I'm going home. And you know what we're going to do? We're just going to fuck our wives.
All we're going to do, baby.
No, but seriously, you just live by those commandments, man. You be good. You be happy.
Yes, very happy. Live a good life.
So that's where Snap stands.
I love my life.
Just fuck your wife. That's it.
Just
one
and only.
I want to celebrate Cam Ward. Okay, Aaron? Because here's a guy. Hold on, I'm going to do the call. Here's a guy in Cam Ward, 0-star recruit coming out of high school to first overall pick in the NFL draft. And for real, though, I hate that we fell into the trap of only talking about Shedur's downfall while we should have been highlighting this incredible success story, which should make any young athlete who feels like they're doubted feel like I can do this. Now, you probably can't. But you should be inspired by this story anyway. This man was 0 stars, 1 offer to Incarnate Word in high school, and now he's the number 1 pick in the NFL draft.
Wow.
Insane. Wow. How about this, Aaron? He wasn't even the starting quarterback as a sophomore in high school.
Do we have another Michael Jordan on our emerging from the football? Did he get cut from his senior team?
He did not get cut. But he wasn't starting.
Okay.
He was about to quit football. But his parents, because he loved basketball, he actually ended up at his high school basketball's all-time leading scorer. Athlete at 240 too. But anyway, so he's about to quit football. His parents like, I think you're going to regret it. Go to the first practice. And then when he started the first practice, his mom's like, you can't quit now, bitch, because you started and you got to finish what you started. And so he ended up sticking around. He becomes a starter junior year. They're running the wing T, bro. The wing T. He only throws 250 passes over 2 years. But the underlying theme in all of this is that he's just got a rocket arm, like incredible arm talent, but he doesn't get to showcase it in high school. The one guy who saw it was Incarnate Word head coach Eric Morris. Now, Eric Morris had also coached Baker Mayfield and Patrick Mahomes. And so he sees this kid, Cam Ward. He's like, holy shit, dude, this kid can throw. And he kind of keeps it under wraps. Like, nobody's offering that. Okay, I'll offer him. Sure, whatever. So he gets the offer to Incarnate Word. Cam Ward goes to college. He goes into Morris's office day one. And he joins an Incarnate Word team that has a incumbent starter named John Copeland. John at this point has already started 2 full seasons. He shattered all the records. He's going into his junior year. John is. Cam walks in. He tells Morris, Coach, I'm going to be the starting QB here this year. And then he walks out. Bam, day one. Well, COVID ends up pushing the season into spring, and they have that abbreviated spring, right? Those 6 games.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't you know who's the starter come day one? Cam Ward.
Baby.
And then he ends up winning the Jerry Rice Award for the best freshman in the FCS. So already 0 stars to the Jerry Rice Award. Then Morris, that coach, leaves. He goes to be Wazoo's OC. Cam enters the portal. Only this time, Aaron, he has suitors. And wouldn't you know who comes calling with a big old pile of money? Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin. They say, Cam, come on, baby. Look, I can make you a star, make you rich, and make you a star playing the SC, win games. What does Cam say, though? If you didn't want me at my 0 stars, you don't get me at my Jerry Rice. And he stays loyal to Morris. He goes with him to Wazoo, taking significantly less money going to quarterback the Cougs.
God, that would have been a fun little combination.
I know, Lane and Cam.
Whoa.
I agree. I was thinking
what could have been.
I know. But he said, fuck you. You don't want me out of high school. This guy was loyal to me. I'm going to be loyal to him. So he goes to Wazoo, Pullman, Washington, middle of fucking nowhere, and he locks the fuck in. You know, he tells his parents, I'm not treating this like a game. I'm treating this like a job. And he's spending 8 to 12 hours there every day. And he ends up throwing for, 7,000 yards, 50 touchdowns over the next 2 seasons. Then he's going to go to the NFL. And this is what's interesting. We played a lot of the Shedeur Cam clips the other day. I didn't know what their relationship was. Apparently, they've been close for a very long time.
Yeah.
Like Shedeur Sanders is reportedly one of the people that most pushed Cam Ward to come back for a senior season because he felt like, they were in direct competition with one another. They loved competing with each other. Apparently they would always FaceTime together every week. And like, if one threw a pick, the other one would make fun of him, et cetera, et cetera. And Shedeur told him, look, man, with another year in school, we could see who's going to be the higher draft pick. And also Cam thinks he should be the number 1 pick. And so he gets his grade back. He's like, all right, fuck it. I'm going to go back to college. And he decides to go to Miami. And yeah, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, like, there's one thing about just as you talk about it. I was watching the Bucks GM Jason Light was on with McAfee the other day, and a quote really stuck with me from him. He said, "We don't miss on the player, we miss on the person. That's our biggest thing." And I think, like, when you look at Cam and you deep dive into all of this that you've done an excellent job of doing, of where he came from, how he's developed, kind of his passion and everything that goes with it, you're not missing on either of those. Like, this is a home run. You home run on the person and the player.
So what's crazy about that, Aaron, and very insightful timing by you, because what I'm about to tell you is what's going to reinforce that point the most. And so he decides to go to Miami. And yes, it's a big payday. Make no mistake about that. But he deserved it at this point. But here's what he does. The first thing that he does after he accepts the Miami job is he asks for pictures and names of everyone in the program. And I'm not talking just players. I'm talking equipment managers, training staff, office assistants, everybody. He says, give me all the pictures, all the names. This motherfucker shows up day 1 and is calling everybody by their first name. Do you know how powerful of a move that is? The depth of the understanding that shows about what the quarterback position is all about, and the off the field, the leadership, the interpersonal relationships and the importance therein. How about this? He also requests where his locker is going to be. He says, look, I need you to put me in the location in the locker room that gets the most foot traffic, because I need to be with the boys constantly. I need to be able to get to know my teammates as fast as possible. And so I need to be at the crossroads of the locker room.
Very, very anti-Carson here.
I mean, look, honestly though, yes.
Yeah.
And that's anti-Shedeur there too. Walking in, knowing everyone's name day 1. Like that is like.
But I would say this Shedeur seems very, maybe there was this aura of Shedeur because of his dad that maybe people were a little scared to maybe make friends with him.
No. I don't think Shedeur's bad. I think Shedeur's teammates like him and everything.
Yeah.
I'm talking about, I don't think he's walking in there and knowing all the equipment guys' names day 1.
No.
All the training staff guys. And I'm sure I'm not saying he treats those people badly. I'm sure he treats them well. But again, the line about Shedeur is he treated these pre-draft interviews like he was being recruited, not like they were job interviews.
Yep.
Obviously, Ward approached it completely differently and did so all the way back here. And like to your point you just made, that's the person aspect of this. That's why the Titans felt so secure in going ahead and being like, you know what, shut it the fuck down. We're all in on Cam Ward. Here's what Shannon Dawson, his OC at Miami, said. He said, quote, he's got the best personality in the world. He understands interpersonal relationships and how all that stuff matters in the grand scope of things. He also understands that quarterback is a very dependent position. Yeah. So he needs the guys around him to do their job. Shout out Cam Ward, dude.
If he can just not throw the ball across his body as he's running out of bounds across the field, I would have said a home run hit. Those couple plays that he made last year where you're just like, what the fuck are you doing, kid?
We'll see. Bit, but again, none of this means he's going to be a great quarterback.
No.
But I do think that it would make me feel, I understand where the Titans are coming from. I would feel very bullish hearing stories of
very talented, just,
again,
very
the
athletic,
work ethic.
Strong arm, good person. And I would say, I've always said, what helped Peyton Manning win a Super Bowl so late in his career when he could barely throw the ball 30, 40 yards? He knew what he was doing, obviously, but he made guys around him better. And part of the quarterback's job is helping create that feeling of belief and putting those guys in the right situation of being almost, it's that servant mentality leadership, being a servant, not being so consumed with who you are and what can you do for me or me, but being that servant leader, which is for everyone just great in life in general, but especially being quarterback, I think he has that where guys are going to want to play for him because they like who he is, because he gives a damn about them. He cares about your wife, your kids, what's going on in your life, your injury, whatever it may be. He seems like he's that type of guy, which is very powerful. So
there's a reason why Aaron is still boys with all of his O-linemen, all of his old O-linemen. You get them laid and they're going to fight and die to protect you out there. They're going to fight and die Will Campbell style to protect you out there.
Oh man.
No, it's funny though. Cause like, I'm always amazed. So my old man, I guess for anybody, I think the majority probably know, but he played NFL football forever, played pro football 15 years, NFL 12 years, quarterback. And I am always flabbergasted at his ability to recall old teammates' names, the schools they went to, and like an anecdote or two about them, despite the fact that, you know, in those dozen years in the league, it's just a constant revolving door of names and faces. And yet it's like a steel trap, dude, even through all the concussions, everything. It's what separates a lot of the great QBs. By the way, huge shout out to Jeff Howe of The Athletic, because almost everything I just read you came from an article that he wrote right before the draft, highlighting the story that we all should have been highlighting, which was this incredible rise of Cam Ward. Okay, other things on the docket today. This shit is fucking crazy. So we all know about Jax Olrich. Jeff Olrich is a DC of Atlanta. Jax Olrich is his son. Jax Olrich is the one who got Shedeur Sanders' numbers. Apparently, I guess his dad left an iPad. Was it just him?
Because I keep hearing there's multiple players that got pranked.
Multiple players got pranked, but I should be clear. I don't know if Jax was the one behind all the prank calls. I doubt it. I do know that Shedeur Sanders had a phone that was specifically just for the draft. Maybe you have some insight here. Do most recruits do that?
No,
I don't think so. Right. No. Okay. And so the thing is, like, I don't find it hard to believe that famous people's numbers get out. Right.
Yeah.
The best way to keep a secret is to keep it between two people and kill the other. Like, famous people's numbers get out. So I'm not surprised that guys are getting prank call. Shedeur was probably a bit surprised because he had this phone just for the draft. So this is a pretty secret number that that Jax got a hold of here. But the craziest part about this story is not that the dumbass filmed himself, which is hilarious to think about. But it's the penalties the NFL is imposing. The NFL fines the Olrich family, Jeff Olrich, $100,000, and finds his boss, Arthur Blank and the Falcons, $250,000.
That kid's fucking mopping floors the next year in the Falcons facility.
Jax, you son of a bitch. I hope it was worth it, you stupid fuck.
You idiot.
I mean,
what are you doing, kid? Oh, he probably thought he was the coolest, funniest dude with all of his boys doing that shit too. Maddox would get a little whooping for that shit.
So that was my initial reaction as well, was like, this kid's an adult. Like, at a certain point, do you have to put hands on your kid? Like, do you kind of just have to like fucking rough him up a little bit?
Santa Cruz, this is why you should spank your kids. Yes.
Yeah. But then I was thinking, and much more effective than that, I would hit him with the deepest of shame. I would be like, look, you brought real, true shame and dishonor upon me, upon your mother, upon your grandparents, your cousins. You have made this entire family into a punchline. And I don't even give a damn about the money, even though that's absurd as well. And you're going to be paying me back for a while.
Yeah.
You have truly shamed your ancestors. and you I don't know if you can ever come back from this.
He's like Mushu from Mulan, you know?
He fucking I mean, again, I would just try to hit him with the most like, I'm not mad, I'm just so disappointed to never believe in you again.
Yes.
$100,000, I'd be pretty pissed though. I'd probably fucking fight him. Also, think about this.
I will say this: in the NFL, fines are donated, and so it's considered a charitable donation from him. So it's a tax write-off.
Yeah, sure. But like, I mean, I'm sure Jeff Olrich makes good money, but he ain't
it's a nice tax write-off, though.
I mean, I'm saying 200. Yeah, that's true, I guess. But like $250K to Arthur Blank is like, I mean, he could literally wipe his ass with that.
Yes.
Even though costing your boss, turns out rich people still love money.
Yep.
Got to be kind of awkward for Jeff to be like, sorry, boss. Quarter milli donated because my son's a fucking jackass.
Oh,
sorry, dude.
Buddy, he that kid ain't going in taking his buddies around the locker room or to camp practice anytime soon. No, that ain't happening.
No. Not allowed in the building.
Not allowed.
And you know what else sucks? Jacksons with an X were having a real moment. You know, Jacksons with an X have been made fun of a lot on the internet. And here was Jackson Dart, drafted first round. Jacksons with an X were on top, and fucking Jax Olberg had to come in and fuck it all up. And now we all know that Jacksons with an X are the exact douchebags that we always thought. It just sucks because Dart was out here changing.
Is his name Jackson too, or just Jax?
No, I don't fucking know.
It doesn't matter.
I don't know. It's JAX. Same shit. Same shit, different dad. You know? I don't know. Dishonor on you, dishonor on your family, dishonor on your cow. Says Sylvain. I agree. All right. In a sadder story, Aaron, Jordan Travis has retired from football, man. Just could never recover from that broken leg against North Alabama.
Where was he?
I think Jacksonville, maybe.
Listen, he wasn't an NFL player anyways. I didn't think his career in the NFL.
Jets. Sorry.
I did not anticipate Jordan Travis to have a long career. He would be better off suited going to like the UFL, which I'm covering.
I don't think he's ever been able to overcome his leg, is what they're saying. Yeah. Travis's reasoning for retiring was based on doctor's advice, as he spent some 17 months trying to rehabilitate his badly injured left ankle. I mean, November 18th, 2023.
And did Florida State and Jordan Travis just been on a heavy down since then?
for North Alabama.
I know.
And it's funny because I was talking about this morning, and Rivers, my friend, was kind of like, well, that could happen against anybody, you know? She felt like I was highlighting the North Alabama element too much. And I'm like, I think it is impossible to tell this story without locking in on the North Alabama element. I mean, that makes it all that much more painful. It wasn't like a playoff game where it's like, okay, I'd lay my life on the line for it. It was a game in which you were not needed. You did not need to be on the field.
I think a lot of it's been like what I'm trying. I don't remember at what point in the game the injury occurred. Like if it was third, fourth quarter, like, but if it was like early on in the game, like what starter doesn't at least play the first 2 quarters against a team?
I'm not saying no, sorry. I'm not saying like they shouldn't have played him. Like, cause I don't know. I think it did happen early on. I don't mean it in that way. I just mean it makes it all multiple orders of magnitude more painful and more depressing that both Florida State and Jordan Travis, that everything would blow up, run in the gown, and get ruined because of this injury against North Alabama. And this is sad, man. Here's his direct quote from his letter that he wrote on X. On November 18, 2023, my life took an unexpected turn. I gave everything I had to the rehab process, but despite all my efforts, my leg never responded the way that we hoped. After much prayer and consultation with doctors, medical experts, my agent, I've been medically advised to retire from the game I love so deeply. That's fucking depressing, man. And you take it for granted that your body's just always going to recover from injury.
Oh, yeah.
Like, this is the type of shit. Kids, you're probably not listening. I know all you listening are old people, but if you have younger people in your lives who are listening, these are the type of stories where when they tell you play every play like it could be your last, this is the type of shit we're talking about. You really never know.
Well, it's not only like play this play like it could be your last because you never know, but also don't put all your eggs in one basket. Like a lot of these guys think that they're going to have 15-year NFL career and make all this money.
Yeah.
And they don't go to class, they don't do anything else, and then all of a sudden shit comes crumbling down in any. I have no idea what Jordan Travis is going to do the next phase of his life, but there's no preparation for that next phase. And it could end so fast.
Yeah. I mean, I think
a Roughnecks Cup, by the way.
Oh, wait. Yeah, I am, dude. This is one of Rivers' mugs from her office. I don't know why she has a Houston Roughnecks Cup. You're right. I didn't even think about it. Here I am with the UFL employee.
Let's go.
The UFL. I'd actually support the Michigan Panthers, though. That's my team.
Okay.
Are they any good this year?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. Go Panthers. Go look up who won the first ever USFL championship, bitch.
Was it the Panthers?
I mean,
I'm guessing it's the Panthers.
Yeah.
Let's see. Right now, the Panthers are in second place in the USFL conference, 3-2.
Oh, let's go.
Behind the Birmingham Stallions. Actually, they're tied. They're tied with Birmingham. DC, I had the game of the year last week. DC versus Arlington. Awesome game.
What happened? How was it?
It was terrific. It ended up being 37-33. The top 2 teams in the league battling to the very end.
Who do you think was the quarterback of the first ever USFL championship team?
I don't know. Did he play? Oh,
there you go, bitch. Bobby Hebert.
Yes.
First ever USFL champion, set records back in the 80s. Ready to cheer on USFL 2.0. I know. How sick are those, dude? Yeah, the Lions were god awful at the time, and the Panthers were actually good, and they were actually outdrawing the Lions. They wanted to set up like a scrimmage, and my old man said they were too afraid to because they didn't want to lose.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
It used to be a bit of a different league, though. It wasn't. I mean, they had Jim Kelly, Herschel Walker, Reggie White, Anthony Carter. That was his receiver, straight out of Michigan. So it was pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy.
Texas.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just reading some comments real quick. See if there's
going down memory lane with old pops.
Anything worth getting to here. Oh God, dude. I must have worn out this VHS I had growing up. It was a highlight package of the 1983 USFL Panthers that told the championship story, and I watched this thing at least 100 times. I mean, John Corker, Anthony Carter, Derek Holloway. Yeah, I love that video. Anyway, yeah. So here's a headline from The Athletic. Is Texas spending $40 million on its 2025 roster? So Houston Chronicle columnist Kirk Bowles has covered Texas for more than 50 years, Aaron. 50, 50. So the man knows. And he says the budget sits somewhere between 35 and 40 million. So, okay. So I'm with you. This sounds insane. But here's a critical detail that I think is going to take a little bit out of it for you. It includes the revenue sharing.
Yeah.
So then the numbers start to make a little more sense.
Yeah, because a lot of the big time Texas last year spent $20 million.
Yes, and it's going to be about 15 million in rev share.
Yeah, they're not spending any more than they did a year ago from outside money.
So yes, so if they spent 15 last year, they're doing 15 rev share. That's 30 right now. Chances are, though, they're going to be probably closer, I would guess, to 25 million, like outside of rev share. Yeah. So then you add in the 15 and you get to 35, 40.
Yeah.
Because that's what Ohio State spent, was 20 to 25 million last year.
Well, yeah. I mean, if it is the 35 number, then it's just 20, which is exactly what Ohio State spent last year on top of that.
Exactly.
The rev sharing. So like the number's crazy and it seems inflated, but like you said, it's not, they didn't go find like 15 more oil people to each donate $1 million to get to this number. It is they're just keeping status quo, which a lot of teams, and I think donor fan base are like, okay, now that you have $15 million to spend on football, you obviously don't need my money. Where Texas is like, no. We still need that because we still need to be head and shoulders above, better than everyone else.
Remember too, like we explained, anybody who had a nest egg built up was going all in before revenue sharing kicked in, because it's a little unclear what's going to happen to collectives and stuff, or what form they'll take after the fact. So like even LSU, I would expect LSU's roster to be somewhere.
It's just more scrutinized. Like anything that you donate is like heavily looked into before.
Again,
I mean, who knows? Yeah.
How enforceable. But the point is, everybody wanted to spend all their nut. Yeah, and then figure it out afterwards. So I think even LSU is probably going to be in the like 10 to 15 range on the roster, maybe even higher. 30? So then you add in the 15, you're probably looking at like 30, right? It's like 25 to 30. So this is a crazy headline, but maybe your bigger takeaway should be that this is actually just kind of the market.
Yep.
Like
this is top market. This is not every team will be spending this much. But like most teams, I would say most SEC teams, Big Ten teams will probably spend between 25 and 35 total.
Yes.
What they are given, what is agreed upon among the
15 million rev share, at least 10 million on the roster.
At least 10 on the roster. Outside. Yes.
There was an interesting line that says one Power 4 GM says he's guessing that Texas has probably about 12 guys making at least $1 million a year. Choo, boy.
And everyone's getting a free Lambo too on top of that.
Choo. Fuck a Lambo. I don't give a shit about cars, but if I was like had unlimited money to buy a car, I would not buy a Lambo.
No.
I don't know what I would buy though. What would I buy actually?
I really want the Ford Raptor Bronco.
Is that a real car?
Yeah, it's
Ford Raptor Bronco.
It's the Bronco like top of the line edition.
Oh, that's cool. Let's see what this thing looks like. Let me see if I would also be into this.
Tops down. You pull it up. Let people see. It's just the top of the line Bronco.
It's got a cool. This thing's got a cool look to it. I see it. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I would take this over a Lamborghini.
I don't know if I want the wheels to be that big.
Oh, see, I kind of do want the wheels that big, I think.
Maybe. I don't know.
I'd get a PT Cruiser. I'm just kidding. I don't know. Again, I don't know cars well enough. Maybe get like a big H1 Hummer. Just a fucking old school military.
I do
tank.
have you seen the new Hummers? I
No.
love the new Hummers. You haven't seen the new Hummer?
You think if I type in new Hummer blowjob stuff will come up? No, there we go. Okay.
Look at the
but have you seen
would you put?
Have you seen the new Sienna Mini? Oh wait, where is it? I think it's the new Kia minivans are looking pretty SUV like. Look at this, huh?
Yeah, those are awesome. That's the
that's
Carnival.
pretty, dude.
I tried to convince
you were the one that told me about this.
Yes.
Never mind. Okay, yeah.
I love the Carnival.
Yeah.
That looks sexy, actually.
I agree, dude. That looks fucking nice. Especially you got that murdered out. Dude, my minivan, bro, just hit 100,000 miles. Fucking mirrors falling out every time I close the door. Windshield's cracked to all hell. It's getting into beater status. I know. It's not good. I'm gonna have to suicide doors on the Carnival. Yes, they do slide open.
Is it Carnival or Carnival?
I don't know. I just said it like that. I have no idea.
Carnival. He's so much better for the minivan.
Well, like that's what in South America. In South America, that's what they call like carnivals. Carnival, I think, right? I don't know. I'm just trying to spice it up a little bit.
Oh God!
Anyway.
All right, everyone. Have a great weekend.
All the best, guys. Please hit the like button. Share the show. Aaron, good luck on the run. And we'll be back on Tuesday with a brand new episode of Snaps. Later, guys.
Have a great weekend.